Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Gimpy, and I'm here with a little bit more of Kontact now, Red Eclipse, soon to be coming out from LNL Publishing for you guys. If you haven't watched the preview video I did on all this, go ahead and watch that first. It goes over some more of the basic concepts and units and what everything represents. I'm not going to go over all that again, per se, in this video. This one is just going to be more of an example of play. I'm going to take and stick with the units I actually used in that preview video and just have them kind of fight a little skirmish battle here on this one map. There aren't going to be any vehicles in it just because I don't know enough about the vehicle combat yet to really be showing it to you. I am going to take a little time and go over that as soon as I can. With the move that I've got coming up though, my time is real limited, so I will get to that as soon as I can, but I did want to take and give you guys an example of how combat's going to run in this game. So we're going to have some leaders and some fire teams going at it. They've got support weapons. I do have a support weapon that I left in here that has a little bit of red on it. This M203, the left set, the 2 and the 4, that's like just your regular shots, like you're just shooting the rifle. And then on the right side, that's like firing the grenade. So 5, 9, 5 being the attack, 9 being the range, and then 2 being the attack, and 4 being the range for the regular. There at the bottom right, that 0 represents any possible movement penalty, which this one doesn't have since it has a 0, obviously. Now, I went over in the previous video how you're going to get your command points. I'll adjust it again real quick for you. You get 1 command point per leader that you have. Each side has 3 leaders, and then you get the command points added that they have up in their top left. Like Rogers here has a 2, so he himself is worth 3 command points. 1 for him, and then 2 for his value. Got the same value for both. 7 total value for leadership. And again, you're going to look at your chart here, and it's going to show you how many chits that you're going to get, your command chits. The USSR is going to get 1 times 1 and 3 times 2. And I think the US got 1, 1, 1, 2, and no, 1, 1, 2 2s and 1, 3, something along that. It's just to help show the difference between the unit structures and how one side's order of battle is going to be different and how they're going to give orders versus the other side. Real neat system when you guys actually see it in play and in action. Here we're going to lay it out. Since this isn't a specific scenario, it doesn't start with one side or the other, so I'm just going to take and draw a random chit. Whoever I draw, they're going to go, and we'll see how things go. I do have some cards laid out here for each of the sides, and since I'm playing both, I'm just going to take and play it out, play the cards. I'm not overly worried about playing an actual game as just showing you guys how the game's going to work. I will tell you, this game works very well solitaire. Just like you play Lock and Load Tactical Solitaire, you can play this solitaire. Hands down, no questions about it. I don't even think there's going to be a whole lot of additions needed to the solo deck to take and use one with the other, because the level, the tactical level that you're actually fighting at here is so similar. It's right there on the same level, so you really don't have to change a whole lot with it. I've been doing that off camera, and it's worked very well for me. Again, before we get started, keep in mind, this is prototype. Everything that you're seeing is prototype. All the rules are prototype. So just because I show you something or tell you something now does not mean that that's going to be in the final game. Plus, the rulebook that I'm using is a prototype rulebook, so it's kind of like, you know, is it this? Are you sure it's this? It's not fully 100% fleshed out. I have been talking to them a little bit about things here or there involving the rulebook. So don't take anything that I'm showing you as 100%. This is what's going to be in the game when it comes out. This is just prototype. Keep that in mind. Although, I'll tell you what, I am going to miss these counters, because these things are nice and thick. The prototype wooden counters, love these things. Down here along the bottom, I've got the turn track slid under the map because you guys really don't need to worry about what turn it is, but this way you can see what command point shit has been drawn. So let's draw one out and get started. See what happens here. Draw one randomly, and we got a allied 1. So the US is going to start, and they have one command to give out. They can do move orders, attack orders, tactical move orders, a whole bunch of different things. I was reading over the rulebook. It's neat on how close air support or artillery strikes are going to work in this, that if you get those in your order of battle, okay, not you're playing a card to play one, but you get artillery missions, they'll actually have chits like these that will get mixed in with your command chits, and they'll get drawn out, and that's when you'll be calling in those artillery missions. So that's actually really neat. Now, I've started them both on off map. We're going to take and just leave them off map and walk them on and see how things work out here. Let's start with Rogers. He's got the big gun, and all of them have a fire team. One leader, one fire team, one support weapon. That's what all the little kill teams have. And we'll just play it out that way and see how they do. If I stay on the road the whole way, I will get a bonus to movement, but I don't know that I want to do that. Let's see if I go 1, 2. Oh, the leader has a movement of 7, but he does incur a bonus to the fire team with him. The fire team that's with him is veterancy, but they only have a movement of 5. So since he is with them, it's kind of like a double time thing. They can move up to 6 movement points worth. So see, 1, 2, moving uphill here. So 3, 4 can go here, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't get into the woods. So I'd end up stuck on the road if I go all the way. 6, I can get up to there, or I can get up to the building. I think we'll go into the building. We definitely want to stay in cover for the morale bonus and for all the other good stuff. So we've occupied this wooden building. We actually do not have any stone buildings here. It's all wood buildings, forest, some brush, stuff like that. So nothing too heavy to worry about as far as the terrain goes. Let's draw ourselves another chit. See what we get. Oh, got our other one. Now, here's the neat part about this game. I can just go ahead and give another order to these guys. All right, so there are some chits that you can use to mark whether or not they've moved. So the previous turn, if I had multiple orders I was giving out, I could have marked this group, okay, they moved if I was giving out another order. But right after you were done with that and you were drawing the next one, you'd go ahead and pull that off. Now that I have another order to give out, I could order these guys, or I can have another group move onto the board. I don't have to take and move to the next group. So I can just keep ordering this same group over and over if I want to, but that leaves my other guys off the board. You do want to kind of spread it around a little bit. Let's see, I want to take over as much territory as I can. I see 1, 2. Now, I am not worried about any of the objective markers. I'm not putting those on there right now, but you will have certain objective markers that will randomly be put out in scenarios, and you'll go after those areas. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah, if we take a position here, I probably should have had them go there, but take a position here, this will give us a line of sight down this road into this building here. I do have my laser out because line of sight in this works a little bit different in that when you're drawing your line of sight, if the whatever you're using, string, laser, or whatever, has part of the terrain on either side of it, that's when it's blocked. So if it just is up against the forest, like, you know, that is right along the hex edge, then that wouldn't be blocked. But if it was just a little bit in there and you had forest on each side of the laser, that's considered blocking line of sight. All right, so my next group, since they're both the same, let's see, that's regular, these guys are green, we'll move the regular, our better troops up into here. Now, they only have a range of, the leader has a range of 2, the squad has a range of 4, so only 1, 2, 3, 4, but their support weapon has a range of 11. So he can reach out and touch someone pretty far, but only with a support weapon. Make sure you keep track of the ranges that you can fire at. And let's draw out our next command chit here. We got ourselves a 2, and we got ourselves our first Russian chits being drawn. So let's see where we're going to go. We're going to give out a couple of orders here. They're probably going to do the same thing, rush the board. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I do believe that moving uphill on this road is still an extra movement point. I'm not 100% on it, but I do believe that is what it is. So 3, 4, 5, 6, or 5. 6. Well, if I move them up the road, they're not going to have line of sight to anybody, so they're probably just going to take and bum rush in and try to get into the center of town before my guys can get over to it. So those guys have moved. Let's move another group in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Yeah, we'll have them move to here. That way, if they want, they can move into this building to have a line of sight down this road, or they can continue moving up. So that's their 2 orders. Just like that, they're done. Now, we haven't played any cards yet, but none of the cards that I have really do much just yet. Now, at the end of the turn itself, when the turn's over, each side can discard some of their cards if they want to try to draw some more of the tactical event cards. But depending on what faction you are, depends on how many you can discard. The US faction can discard 2, while the USSR can only discard 1. So it just more differences between the 2 groups on, you know, even into the card play. There are some symbols there at the top of the right of the cards on who they can be applied to, but usually the text will tell you pretty clear on who can do what. Let's draw ourselves another chit, and we got ourselves Russian 1. We'll bring their last group here on board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll have them stop there. There are 3 kill teams. They will probably try to take and move into this wooden building and get here. That way they get a line of sight up, and I'll have to advance into them. All right, let's draw our next one, see what we get. We got the American 3. They are the only ones with a 3. So I definitely don't want to take any leadership damage, because if I lose leadership points, I'm going to lose some of my command value here. See if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can get into this woods, and I'm going to be line of sight blocked completely there because there's a hill here. So if I got there and went 1, 2, 3, 4 on the next one, but they would be able to op fire on me. So I'd have to move up and then advance. Advance is very similar to low crawl. You can move 1 hex without being able to take opportunity fire. Let's see, do I want to go south or north? So we go north. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can only get to there. Come down on them. Or go into here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll tell you what, I'm going to position these guys way up here on the road, because that's going to give them a line of sight all the way down to here and to this part of this building. So if any of these Russian troops try to rush the road, this building, down into here, I'm going to have line of sight to them and be able to take them out. Draw ourselves another chit, see what we're going to get here. We've got the American 2. Yeah. I was kind of hoping it would be the Russians, because that means I think it's just their chits left. Yeah, they've got 2 2s left to play, so I've got to give my last orders. Now, I could pass, but I don't think I'm going to do that, because I can move up into cover without getting them spotted. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I move there, then I am going to be subjected to op fire from these guys. Yeah. See, that's the thing, is op fire in this game is a little different. I'm not 100% on how the rules are going to pan out on that. It says you got to have line of sight, obviously, within 3 hexes of a friendly unit. So their farthest unit, 1, 2, 3, can hit up to this building. But what I've read so far makes me think that if I'm, over to here, they wouldn't be able to op fire. Now, again, I'm not 100% that it's going to go that way. There are some last minute tweaks, so it might end up being you can op fire up to your range, or it might be within 3 hexes. I'm going to play it as the rule book has it written out right now, which is 3 hexes and in line of sight. If that changes, or if I hear different, I'll let you guys know. Damn, where am I going to go? Because, yeah, this is just within their line of sight, and they would be attacking me with a firepower of 7, and then leadership value of 2. So they would be hitting me for, what was it, 16 -2 for the building, so they would be 14 plus a black and a white die from your 3-die roll. So that could be a pretty heavy attack versus my morale, which you can see is a 7. I'd get to add 2 from that, and then whatever I roll. But that's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. Let's see here. All right, I was checking the rule book one more time just to make sure I had the fire resolution right, because we're getting ready to get into that. And it's your total attack value versus your total defense value. There are modifiers involved with that, which you guys will see here in just a second. So let's see. Well, if I move these guys into this building, and 1, 2, 3, 4, move these guys into this building. 1, 2, 3, they're just going to be 1 hex away. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we're going to take, and 1, 2, 3, 4. They've moved. I'm not worrying about the markers since we're worrying about such low numbers at this point. And I'm going to move these guys into that building off the road. Now I have line of sight down through here, over to here. So if they try to move up into this building, down over into these sheds, over into the bush, wherever they move up to, I'm going to be able to get some shots onto them. So since there's only 2 chits left, I know what I'm getting. Order for 2 of them. Now, they could do probably a tactical move. A good move for them would be an advance. So we're going to have an advance here. That advance means that they don't get to be outfired on. All right, so they're just moving dead in there, and they'll fire on a later turn. That's probably what's going to happen there. Let's see. Movement value of 6, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's as far as I can move to do an attack move. If I go 1, 2, that would be line of sight. They'd be able to fire. And they wouldn't be able to be up fired on. I'm checking my line of sight here. They would have line of sight to do so, but they would be suffering a penalty. Okay. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Screw it. We'll see what happens. 1, 2. They're doing a tactical move, okay? So what that means is they're moving up to half their movement value and then conducting a fire. Now I'm having to move to there because it's just outside of op fire range, even though I've got line of sight over from my American troops over on this side, and they've got line of sight. They're going to attack them in the building. So we're going to total up their attack value, which is 6 plus 7, but actually I need to change that. It's 4 because they're getting a -2 modifier for the tactical move. So -2 from all the fire powers. So that's a 5 plus a 4 is 9 plus his 1 leadership value. So they've got a total of 10, and they're firing onto my wooden building, which is going to subtract another 2 for my defensive value. So they have 8. 8 total attack firing onto me. That's all we got to worry about. Now we're going to take our 3 die. Again, since I'm using these dice and there's no white one, the green is going to stand for our white. Black and red will stand for black and red. Let's roll and see what we get. All right, not too bad. I think we can deal with that. They got a total. We're not looking at the red because they don't have a red attack value for any of their weapons. These guys do. At that point, you would be looking at that. So they got a 5. 5 plus their 8 gives them a total of 13. Okay, that's it. Now we're going to look at our morale values. My leadership value can't help these guys unless he passes his. I get to add the wooden building modifier of +2 to his morale, which is giving me a 11 total on this. And then I, again, roll the 3 dice. You always roll the 3 dice, and you're going to add that to the morale value, and that's going to give you your total defense value. So what we just got here, that 13, was the total attack value. It's going to be compared against the total defense value. And then depending on the results is, you know, who wins, who takes damage, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's roll for it, see what we get. All right, That actually came out really good for me. We don't have to worry about the red. We're going to add the white and the black. That will give us 8 plus his morale value of 11, the 9 plus 2, giving us a 19. So no effect. Now we get to check for the guys underneath. Their morale value, since they're veterans, is an 8. They also get to add the terrain that they're in, which is 2, and they get to add the leadership value, which is 2. So that gives them a 12, and they are also going to roll the 3 dice and see what we get. And obviously they're good since they got 6 plus the 12, so even if they had snake-eyed it, they still would have been fine. So there is no damage, no disruption. They're just too many modifiers tearing them up on that. However, at this point, they can take and play their last chit. We're at that last chit draw, but we're going to play a card. All right, because I need to try to stop these guys. If they fire again, they're not getting that -4 penalty for movement that they had just gotten. Okay, they wouldn't be conducting a tactical move anymore. If they try to fire on me, or these guys try to fire on me from where they're at, they're not getting a penalty. So I'm going to fire right now using this, a reaction card, and I can give an order immediately. I'm going to play that one. My order is going to be for this unit to fire onto these guys out in the open road. Now, I've got a red value weapon, so that's going to definitely come in my favor. 5 plus 7 plus his leadership value of 2. Okay, so what do we got? 12. Yeah, my bad shit-ass math. 12 plus 2 is 14. Okay, since they are in the road, they're not getting any defensive value. Okay, no terrain modifier, so I'm getting 12 plus my 3 dice since I'm using a red attack, and it can cause a fire if the red dice is higher than the other 2. So let's take a roll and see what we get. Oh, it tied. It didn't. But this is going to obliterate them. All right, 12 plus 10 plus 4. See, the numbers can get a little high on this, so that definitely throws me off a little bit. Okay, so 14 plus that's 24, 28. 28 total is my total attack value, because I'm getting to add that 3rd die for this guy's 203, because I effectively launched a grenade at him. All right, so 28 against their defense, which they don't get to add anything or subtract anything. So this was not a good move for them. Sorry, I got a loud truck driving by. My neighbor's truck, man. I swear, I gotta get rid of that guy. He's got just the loudest damn truck, and he just goes tearing up and down our road. All right, so he's got a 9. This leader, what is his name? Tarkov, something like that. Tarasov. Yeah, Tarasov is getting ready to get his fire team blown into oblivion. So let's remember 28. I'm repeating it to myself because I don't want to forget. And now we're going to compare that to his 9 plus whatever he gets on these 2 dice. So regardless, he's getting broken. All right, so he got, again, we don't have to worry about the red 6. He got 8 plus that, so it's 17. Did not beat him by double. If I'd had a 35, it would have killed him outright. Did not. It just broke Tarkov. So he's going to break. And now we're going to take and do this for our guys underneath. Take again and roll. And their morale value is a 6. So let's roll and see what we get for it. They got a 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 compared to my... Oh, I almost killed him in 1 shot. 2 more and I would have had them completely gone. They are broken as well. They did not get to add any leadership modifier because, again, he is broken. So you can see I caught them out in the open, hit them. Now they're broken. Now they can't fire back, and I don't have to worry about that. But you're saying, Gimpy, they still got a couple more orders to take and give out. Yep, they do, but we'll take and deal with that here in just a sec. I'm going to show you guys another card that we can use to take and mess with them. So they're going to draw their command card here. So I'm bumping the map, or command sheet. So they've got another couple of orders to give out. They're going to take and try to fire onto these guys, get rid of my grenades that are causing so much trouble going over here. So first order, I'm going to mark this to make sure we remember we did it. They're issuing a fire order. That fire order has now been canceled. Confusion. Stop one attack. Because of command confusion, the target area is not clearly defined. But that attack is still spent. That order is still spent now. So they effectively spent the order to conduct the attack there, but now it's wasted. So I don't have to worry about that attack during this impulse. Love that. That's where that card play can get really just in depth, and especially if you play something like that to stop them, and then you call in a multi-rocket launcher attack and hit all their guys that are bunched up. Stuff like that can really just change the course of a game. Okay, so they've got one order left. They're probably going to use it to fall these broken units back before they get hit again. If they get hit again out in the open road like that, they're just going to get torn apart and blown into bits. So let's take and use it to try to fall them back here. They're out of op fire range, so don't have to worry about that. We'll go one back. Oh, their movement is just a 1, so it'll just be an advance order, but it does get them behind cover and in command range of both of these leaders, so they can attempt to do a rally attempt on our next turn. So right here, that's turn. You're going to take and pull all these back up and throw them all back in the cup, with the exception of any command adjustments that you need to make at the end of the turn. And we do have a command adjustment we have to make. The Russians no longer have 7 command point value. They only have 6. They still have 3 guys, but they've lost his command value. It's a 0 now because he's broken. So we're going to look here, and they get 2 1s and 2 2s instead of 1 1 and 3 2s. So we've actually got to change that up a little bit. 2 1s and 2 2s. Let's see. They are losing one of these 2s they had, and they're having to replace it with a 1. So they're getting 1 less order next turn than they would have been. And now that all gets thrown back in the cup, mixed up, or our bowl, as the case may be. And you will draw cards and play cards accordingly at that point. Yeah, we're done with the, well, turn of whatever turn number that you're in at this point. Do remember, the turns don't necessarily start at turn 1. They will start, depending on what scenario you're in, on a variable start turn. And when you hit turn 7, that's when you're going to start rolling. And depending on what you roll, the turn could potentially end anywhere after that. So maybe you started on turn 4 or 5. Well, you're not going to start on 5, but maybe you started on turn 3 or 4. So you're only going to have 3 or 4 turns before the game might end. But again, you don't know for sure that the scenario might end, so you can't bank on it. You still have to be prepared for another round to happen. Anyway, we're going to take and pause it here. I'll take and run through another turn for you guys, see if we can wipe out these Russian guys and let you see how more of the command chit value can get turned. If I can get the vehicle rules a little more under my belt before the next turn that I film for this, I'll take and include 1 or 2 of them just so you guys can see how that's going to run. All right, that's going to be it for me. You guys take care. I will catch you in the next one.